Welcome to another edition of the Weekend Kickoff. Well, I am very honored to have this week a special guest, Dr. Sonya Christian, the president of Bakersfield College. Now, Dr. Christian has a great reputation, and from the moment I started at Bakersfield, all I've heard was great things about her. But after sitting down and talking to her, I can honestly say those expectations were not met. She was even better. She was so approachable, so down to earth, and at the end of the interview, she actually asked me questions. That made me feel so good about myself, but it wasn't because she just asked me a question, it was because I could tell that she actually cared. Now, she's a very smart lady. She's very accomplished, she does a lot in the community, and all those things are very important. But one of the things that means the most to me, and if you listen to any of my videos or you read my blogs, you'll know that this is true, it's genuineness. And at the end of the interview, I can tell she genuinely cares about her students and about her staff. So please sit back and enjoy, take some notes, the interview with Dr. Sonya Christian, president of Bakersfield College. Dr. Christian, what motivates you to do what you do every day?
Well, I'm not sure if you've read my blog, but I sign off my blog every time and I say I'm the luckiest and happiest college president ever. And why wouldn't I be? Because if you've been at BC for how long?
2 years now.
About 2 years?
I love it, yeah.
So you know when I tell you that if you look around BC, whether you're looking at the different departments, our instructional programs, whether you walk into the cafeteria and work with our food services individuals, whether you walk into financial aid, everyone at BC is absolutely committed to what they do. And since you're making this video for students, everyone at BC loves you. They're here to support you 100%. So when I'm working with such fabulous individuals, it is just a joy to wake up in the morning and come to work. It is the little ideas. I mean, basically, Bakersfield College is on the move. And it's on the move because of each and every person who has an idea, who has a curiosity that they want to explore. And my job as president is just to make sure I create the conditions so they can do what they want to do. Because honestly, BC doesn't need a president. What BC needs is really the faculty, the counselors, the financial aid person to get our students. Over 80% of our students are first generation. So my job is to make sure that all of these individuals have the ability to do what they want to do and to make their ideas become reality. It is not just a thing I say that I'm the luckiest and happiest college president. I am, because BC is very unique, and I've worked in other places as well. I was in Oregon, and then I came back to my home.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, when I look at you, I think that you must have had it pretty easy because you're the president. I mean, how hard could your life have really been? But knowing parts of your life, that's not true. Can you tell us a failure that possibly you've had and how you've overcome that?
Well, in some ways, I must say that I feel I've had a privileged life. I've not had financial barriers, for example, and I know a lot of our students are navigating a lot of issues, and I'm just so inspired that despite the issues that they're navigating, they come back and they want to get that degree or that certificate, and they're really trying to transform their lives. But I must say that failure is part of human life. It's everyone encounters it. And just last week I was at an accreditation commission meeting. I'm a commissioner, and there was an issue I was trying to move, and it was something I really felt needed to happen, and I made my arguments. We had a debate, and when the vote happened, it was 15-3.
Oh.
So I know, it was like, oh my gosh, right? So, I went back to my room. It wasn't here in Bakersfield. I kind of curled up and had to deal with it. But I've also in life, I was an international student. I moved from India, and I came for my graduate school to USC. And dealing with that sense of homesickness and being alone and trying to navigate rules in a foreign country was often really, really difficult. You know, you go through, you know, the grief process, you go through anxiety, and, you know, I've certainly had my share of it. And what do I do? The truth is, I have a lot of, I make sure that I'm really connected and have perspective, so I'm grounded. And I'm able to come out of whatever I'm dealing with because of the people around me. It's even with the accreditation issue, you know, I sort of processed it with my colleagues, and it's like, you know, well, you know, we'll come back at it, we'll take another stab, and, you know, then that sort of gives me the motivation to get back on the horse and give it a good try again. So I want our students to know, Jonathan, I mean, you deal as a counselor with the real serious and complicated issues our students have to face. And I want to tell our students that they are not alone in this. They have a full community here who wants them to succeed. And just reach out to someone. I do that every day. Even as president, I reach out to someone to help me navigate a difficult situation that I'm working with.
Very cool. So, and again, another question I always have from people is, when you get to your destination, is that it? And you're the president, can't go much higher. So do you have any goals? And if so, what are some of your goals, whether personal or professional?
Well, I always, you know, I've always told my daughter that the journey is what's important. And to me, the goal is, I mean, there are certain issues that I'm passionate about. One of the issues that brought me to the community college was the whole equity agenda. So I'm really passionate and committed to seeing how can we really level the playing field for all of our students, because the reality is, if you come in as a third-generation student, the chances are that you're better equipped to navigate college. But if you're coming in and you're a first-generation student, college is a foreign country. And so that, you know, leveling the playing field and giving everyone an opportunity to be equally successful is something that I'm passionate about. So to me, I've never thought about, oh, I have to be a president, or I have to, you know, but it was more moving the issues in a different, you know, maybe a different scope. And right now, in addition to working with issues at BC, I'm trying to work at the issues even at the state of California, at the state level, looking at ways in which we can look at our 114 community colleges. The whole guided pathways movement is an equity movement. It is so that every student, if you have things that are structured and clear, you're really leveling the playing field for all of our students. So I'm passionate about several issues, and that's what drives me. And that's what, you know, is sort of a goal that I have that helps me be organized. Because again, the reality is, to be successful, it is the organization, it is really thinking about the details of how to make something happen, you know, and that's even important in a class. You don't walk into a class and get an A in a math class or an English class. It is paying attention to doing your homework. I mean, the devil is always in the detail, and it's grueling. But at the same time, you know, I try not to take myself too seriously, because I'm just one person trying to make a difference, and it is working collectively with the team and relying on others to help me get to the larger goal that we're trying to do. I often think that if we open ourselves up, at least for me, to work in community, it helps me deal with accomplishments in a much better way and in a more fun way than I would if I was just working as, you know, sort of a lone agent.
Yeah. Do you have any last-minute things or tips that you'd like to say to my class or anybody else watching this?
Okay. Well, what would I tell you? I would tell you to get committed. Just a moment. I have a poem that I use all the time. So just a moment.
Yeah,
I'm going to my desk, my messy desk.
Awesome.
So I should have it someplace here. Okay. So So, thank you. So, you know, Jonathan had asked the question about goals. You know, I make goals every day. There are the small goals and the big goals. The small goals are to be patient, to be kind, to be compassionate. But one of the things I really believe in is to be committed and passionate. So if you want to get something done, know that once you are committed to it, magic happens. So I'm going to read this to you. Until one is committed, there is always hesitancy, the chance to draw back. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too, and I always say the word magic happens. All sorts of things happen that would never otherwise happen. A whole stream of events issue from that decision of commitment. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it now. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Just have a wonderful, wonderful time.
Thank you.